A very good day to you. Welcome to Herman Manyora's channel. My name is Jadiel Kabiro. I'm really glad that you've joined us for today's political conversation. Herman Manyora, sir, how are you doing?
I'm okay, and asking our viewers to subscribe.
Just take a minute or two.
Take a minute or two, as my friend would say, and press that subscriber button, so that every time we produce a video, you get it automatically. You are even the first to get a video. Please do subscribe, those who have not subscribed.
Yes, and leave a comment, share, leave a thumbs up for these videos. I haven't had talks of you running for Westlands. It's a new year. Why aren't we speaking about
All men go slowly.
Yeah,
slowly.
So Westlands is still there.
It's still there.
Okay, let's talk about what's happening in the UDA party and nominations, even in the Azimio parties. Still the conversation headache. We saw yesterday a shouting match in Bomet between Chama cha Mashinani supporters and UDA. How critical will these nominations be this time round for the elections in 2022?
First of all, to ask our politicians, do not do anything that can disturb peace. If Ruto has his rally and you don't agree, why do you go there? If you are a politician like Isaac Ruto, why do you carry your crowds there to interrupt Ruto's rally?
Was it
Isaac Ruto carrying people to go and disrupt William Ruto's? No, we don't want that. Let William Ruto, DP, have his rally in Bomet and Kericho. Then you hold yours. Then make a statement. You are here, the stadium was a quarter way full. I am here, the king of the Kipsigis. The stadium is more than full. That's what we want. We don't want people to go and heckle others. No. To show you are tough. Why don't you organize your own rally?
Oh.
I don't support that.
So would you say that this is why these nominations will be critical in this year's election? Is that, that's what I was asking?
No, they will be critical, but we don't want them to be a source of friction or cause of friction. No. We want them, okay, politics can never be politics with without friction, some form of friction. But we don't want the kind of friction that can disturb the peace.
No. And that's what you're foreseeing with the trend that is happening in the UDA party?
Yeah, people are pushing us toward that direction, and we don't want that.
Can the DP be able to deal with this?
Because if Isaac Ruto, for example, really wants to do his things within Chama cha Mashinani, CCM, let him do his thing there. Let him ask Isaac Ruto, DP Ruto, can we work together? If no, I'll go my own.
Because
if he's beaten the way he was beaten in 2017, let it be so.
The party said that they will support DP Ruto.
But try to push yourself.
Presidential ambitions. They said they will support him, but they said they will not fold their party to go to the UDA
But Ruto DP Ruto has already pronounced himself on that. So persuade him to change. Because according to DP Ruto, UDA is a strong national party. If you want to join them. Don't come with a small briefcase party. What they call tribal regional parties. So, Isaac Ruto with his CCM must convince Ruto in a boardroom, not in a rally. Look here, DP Ruto, we love you. But we don't want to fall CCM. We want to work with you. In a boardroom, he look for an appointment. If I can see the deputy president, what is so difficult with Isaac Ruto seeing the deputy president? It will be much easier for him.
Yeah.
I mean, if I wanted to see William Ruto, I'll see him. If I want to see any of these people, I'll see them. So they are not animals. Isaac Ruto can access William Ruto and tell him, look here, allow us to come as a corporate member. Because then Ruto will have to change his stand because he's against that. You do not go and force that in a public rally organized by William Ruto.
Now, is this a bad gamble for DP Ruto, believing that parties like CCM or even PDP by Governor Okoth Obado will support its presidential bid without the need of a coalition agreement later on?
It's not even a bad gamble. We have said it repeatedly here. It's just a dead-end kind of approach.
Oh.
Yeah.
He
can already see. Look at what's happening on the mountain. All those Jubilee MPs other than his diehards are already fitting into CC Chama cha Kazi.
Yes.
TSP, Mwangi Kunjuri. Usawa Party, Mwangi wa Iria. This one called PNU.
Yes.
Democratic Party, DP.
Yes.
They are already harvesting. And that will be the trend. So it's already it's not even a gamble. It was a bad move.
So for all of them, you think they will leave the DP, support another presidential candidate, even Isaac Ruto?
You know, I have said this. This is strategy. By saying they support Ruto, they are making it very safe for people to join their parties. But that's just part one. That's phase one. You say we support Ruto, but we shall not demolish our homes. We cannot go there naked. Paka tuende tumevaa nguo. Tuwezi kwenda kwa UDA tukiwa naked. Hapana. Tupaka tuvae nguo, na nguo ni chama cha kazi. Nguo ni Usawa Party. Nguo ni TSP and so on and so forth. Paka tuwe na chama yetu. We must have our own parties. That sells very easily. That narrative is very easy. Okay?
Yeah.
Because our history, our political party history, we know how people have been shortchanged in parties, including Ruto himself being shortchanged in Jubilee, having folded URP. So the lesson is right there before the people. So it's very easy to sell that. Once that one has now worked, it will be very easy to go to the next phase.
Which is?
Which is to leave Ruto and now go to Azimio.
Even in places like the Rift Valley where UDA is a stronghold, Ruto is a name. It can't
be across the country. I'm talking about the mountain. That applies to the mountain.
But for people...
Every region has a strategy. For example, in northern Luya land, Bungoma, Trans Nzoia, for example, the strategy is to create a new party, DAP. And it's already doing very well. In fact, it is a stronger party compared to Ford Kenya. So that's the strategy for that region. There's a strategy for other regions. But the strategy for Mount Kenya is to have the people of the mountain, political leaders, join these those Mount Kenya parties on which they are going to contest. Dilute and demolish UDA, leaving it a challenging party, like I've said.
You're saying DAP is stronger than Ford Kenya right now?
Now, and it's not even 1 month old.
People are still have already shifted.
Yes.
Let me ask you this then. Yeah. Will the DP be able to deal with the wrangles now in UDA? You saw Ngirishi leaving.
He's running out of time. Even in places like Kakamega, there are undertones that he seems to be warming up to the likes of Malala than Khalwale. That will have his own repercussion, because then you are telling Khalwale, perhaps let somebody else run. You wait for government. When I give you minister, who tells you will become minister?
Will become president too, even for DP.
Even Nairobi. They are using people like Sakaja here, I could be wrong, to persuade Mudavadi to finally join UDA. And I think talks are ongoing. It's not a secret.
Already.
People are saying there are such a talks. So what will that mean? It would mean now you have to abandon Margaret Wanjiru in Nairobi, Bishop, and support this guy called Sakaja, because he's instrumental in bringing Mudavadi to UDA. So what are you doing to your Nairobi votes? It's going to be difficult for him. It's not just Ngirishi. Ngirishi is just the tip of the iceberg, just the beginning. A lot of that will happen all the way to MCA level.
Can Ruto be able to deal with it? Because this is a big headache.
He will not. It's too big for him.
So many people will leave the party.
It will be too big for him. This game is lost. I have said for the past 3 years, the game is... The moment Raila went into a handshake with Raul, with Uhuru, the game was gone. 2022 is gone. You better work on another thing.
Are we looking at a scenario where we will have the Hustlers coalition? Because if he has to deal with this headache, he'll have to accept coalitions.
So, we are saying time is of essence and running out. That's why they were really fighting this political parties bill in parliament. Because the deadline for doing that was supposed to be 9th of next month.
Yes.
So at least because of delaying it, it has been pushed to April. But then even April is not very far. And even if the law was not in place, you need to quickly move and convince people why you have changed. And then move on to assemble a coalition.
So maybe
you can see the time doesn't seem to favor.
So maybe when the political party amendment bill passes, Ruto will use it as an excuse to
You can say we didn't want this, but now that it's here, let's make the best of it. Yeah, he can. Politicians are never that thing in you, which we call shame on you.
They don't have shame.
So he can just look at us and say, we are forming coalition.
But
time is not on his side.
Okay, let's talk about Azimio La Umoja.
Yes.
You call him the master of crowds, magnet.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this master now of coalitions, Raila Odinga. When you look, if the political parties amendment bill passes, would you say it will make things difficult for Raila or make them easier? Because the ODM, some ODM aspirants may not agree to support people from other parties in the nominations.
It will cut both ways. It will make it easier for Raila to access places like Mount Kenya, where he wouldn't have gone as ODM.
Oh.
And even some parts of Western and across the country. So it will make it easier. But again, it will be a little difficult for him because the nomination headache will come. Because for this to work out well for him, they will have to sit down and agree on joint nomination. Otherwise, they will suffer the same fate NASA suffered under Jubilee.
Oh.
Where you have a NASA member, corporate member, ANC, fielding a candidate. In the same place we have a wiper, an ODM, then Jubilee gets.
Oh.
So when you get to that idea, that point of agreeing on how to do it, big headache.
Because for places like Western Kenya, ODM and parties like DAP will
because
still
people
candidates.
say we are supporting you. Let's assume if Mudavadi came on board. It will be very difficult. Because the first condition Mudavadi will put on in Azimio, Western Kenya can only be Fort Kenya or ANC.
Period.
And yet, look, almost all the governors in Western are
ODM.
actually out of 4 in Western, 3 are ODM. What does that tell you?
That Western Kenya is for ODM.
And yet, one of the things you will have to agree, this being an ANC zone, Fort Kenya zone, ODM must keep up. You can see the headache.
Oh.
So it will not be very easy.
So it's difficult
It's
for
difficult
both sides. Are we looking at a situation where we'll be seeing more independent candidates after the nomination? We saw what happened in last year's election. Candidates, aspirants standing out and saying they were rigged, so we are going independent.
Winning as an independent is a tall order. Going by the rate of failure, you can tell it's very difficult. However, what's going to happen this time? Small parties are going to be much more attractive, much more successful, much more acceptable than before. Because of this political parties thing and because of Raila's Azimio thing. He's making it look normal, in fact desirable, for people to come with their small parties, to represent their idiosyncratic small interests, their own regional, sub-regional, tribal, sub-tribal interests. He's making it, he's sanitized it.
Looking independent, you say.
Look, so the independent per se, there will be less of those.
Okay.
But independent in terms of being maybe the only member of parliament from that party in parliament, or you are just 2 of you, or 1. Or maybe parties just have MCAs, they don't have an MP, they don't have anything else. There will be a party that just has 1 senator and nothing else.
But when you look at all this, when you look at the nominations, as you say them, they seem to be consequential to the parties. In case one person who is the wrong choice gets the position, would you say it will lead to a terrible presidency or a rule when it comes to elections?
It is difficult. It is difficult. First of all, at the level of nomination, it creates headache. There's a danger of falling on the wrong candidate, through manipulations, through domination of one party, stepping down on smaller parties in the region and therefore giving the wrong candidate. But like you say, a bigger headache in parliament.
So the leaders should be able to tell who will become the party's nominee in different areas, because it's going to be tricky for them.
It will be very difficult, not even
they have to
very difficult.
They have to put their feet down.
It requires so much thinking. But if you play the game the way you've been playing it during nominations in the past, you'll pay for it.
It's going to be
you can be President Ruto or President Raila, but you'll not govern this country because of parliament.
Okay, let's wind the conversation there. Thank you so much for tuning in into today's show. It's been a conversation on nominations. Headache for both Raila and Ruto moving forward. I hope everything will be well for them and we end up with the country even after the 2022 general elections on August 9th. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day. Remember to subscribe and tell your friends that we're here.